this evening what we're going to do, if it's all right with you, is enable you to explore either a topic or an outcome that you're looking for. And we're going to do that by using the space that's around here to help you do that. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to kind of get us overthinking it. What I'm going to invite you to do is find a number of spaces from which you can explore that topic or that desired outcome. And there might be times when you kind of think, what's going on here? And what I'd encourage you to do is kind of trust the process and go with it. And what you'll notice is that there's a pattern, and that the space will be yours to do the thinking, the exploring that you need to do. Have you had a chance to think about a desired outcome for the session that we're about to do, or a topic that you'd like to think about as we go into this exploration using space?
Yes, I have. Thank you. Yeah, so I run a small company with my husband. We're photographers and I guess visual content creators. And at the moment, like any small business, it's been quite challenging for us. And so we've had to really think about moving forward, how we're going to maybe reach new clients in the current climate that we're faced with, and perhaps, you know, think about the ways in which we're going to work with them moving forward, whether people are going to want photography or whether they're going to want more of a moving image based approach. You know, we're kind of ready to go. We've got our guidelines ready in terms of working in a PPE based situation, but it's, yeah, we're just sort of unsure as how we're gonna reach them, gonna find them. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what I'd like you to do is capture that, and you can capture it in words or in a drawing, or somehow contain it into the smallest number of words that you can, or in a picture.
Okay. I'll try and put it in a picture.
Does the picture have a name?
Does it have a name? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've got like a speech bubble that says hello. So maybe it could just be called Hello, We're Here.
Hello, we're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should I write that on?
If you like. Okay. So perhaps you'd like to place your picture in a place that feels right.
Okay, I'm just going to put it in the middle of the space, I think. And there.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Just check it out. Does that feel like the right place?
I think I'll turn it the other way, actually. Yeah.
So you find a space in relation to the picture.
Yeah. I'll stand quite close to it, I think.
What do you know about Hello, We're Here from here?
So I feel like I'm sort of right behind it, looking out at all the possibilities and potential ways of being able to communicate with people or organisations. Perhaps there are even organisations that we've not even considered that are out there who would be interested in what we're offering. But I feel like it's very difficult to kind of know how to reach out to those people, how to kind of contact them. So I feel like they're kind of out there. Some are probably quite close, some are probably very far away, metaphorically as well. Yeah, like some even within arm's distance, you know, it's that kind of thing of you've got something very close, but it's very difficult to know how to kind of get towards it or to reach those people in a way that's appropriate as well. And then are people interested, you know, are people even ready to consider working with us, considering the climate that we're in at the moment.
And is there anything else about?
Yeah, so for some reason I feel like we're on the top of a hill. We're on the top of like a hill and we're looking out at the world and we're just kind of like, hello, we're here, you know, kind of, and that voice is just echoing and we're just kind of met with an echo. That's sort of why I've put us at the top. For me, I feel like we're kind of at the top corner of something, you know, or like the peak of something, and yet it's not kind of really going anywhere. We're just there at the top. I don't mean at the top necessarily of our career, I just mean we're kind of at this, on a hill, literally on a hill, looking out, and yeah, we're just met with an echo.
Okay.
With maybe some smiling faces along the way and maybe some kind of very, we can't read you faces and some less happy faces.
Is there another space you'd like to be?
Maybe, yeah, I'll just stand over here.
And what do you know about Hello, We're Here from here?
So I know that this is very much a partnership, and myself and my husband are working on this together, and we're happy. But there is confusion as to how we will move forward as a business. We're both very rooted in the creative process, so we kind of want to maintain that within the work that we have, and sometimes it can be frustrating because we don't have enough time to kind of maybe fulfill our creative ideas or ideals. And it would be nice to show that to others and to share that with others, and for them to maybe work with us on perhaps more creative projects, rather than perhaps more corporate projects.
Is there anything else that you know about that there from here?
So if I sort of think about how, what and when, it's how are we going to gain new clients? What can we do for them? What changes do we need to make? What are people interested in? And when? When can we work with you? Are you ready? We're ready. So I kind of see that, you know, by us holding hands, and we have a question mark of how, what and when, and then an exclamation mark of, you know, hello. Whilst at the same time, I guess our companionship, you know, that's there throughout, and everyone else kind of, I guess, isn't in that there further away from us. Okay.
Would you like to find another space?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to start going up a little bit higher and just explore some height.
Is that the right space?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you know about that there from here?
So I guess like we're all the same size. So even though I've drawn people quite far away, we're all very similar in terms of our size. So, you know, it's not like everybody's miles and miles away, really in the distance. So in many ways, everybody's equal. That's kind of what I'm getting when I look at that. Apart from the fact that they haven't got bodies and we have. Yeah.
Is there anything else from here?
That we are really small. So even though I've said that we're all the same size, that we are actually really small in the whole scale of things. And we're just trying to do our part of collaborating with others and sharing ideas and coming up with projects. I think we both have a lot of ideas and a lot of creative ambition, and it's sort of putting it into practice, and for people to be able to see that, it's just thinking about how can we make that happen. And through that process, there will be some collaboration as well. So it's, you know, I guess in some ways it's already happening. We're already kind of meeting like-minded people. Perhaps that's the key, is finding like-minded people who want to work with us because of who we are and what we stand for, and you know, because we actually have a connection with them.
Is there another space?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. And what do you know about that there from this space here? I think the further I move away from it, the more I kind of see this time as an opportunity to almost explore for ourselves a little bit what it is that we want to do with our creative practice. It's quite nice in some ways to not have to worry about it. So by having physical distance from something, it almost relieves the pressure a little bit. And we've got an archive of imagery that's from when we went travelling, and I've been going through it and I've been using it because it really resonates with me to kind of go through, and we keep saying about spending some time to go through it because we'd like to do an exhibition. And so we could definitely think about spending a bit of time on that, I think, and revisiting some of that imagery, because it's very personal, and I think it will possibly inspire us to perhaps think about maybe the type of projects that we do want to work with, and perhaps the clients that we do want to work with, because it was a very holistic experience travelling. So for some reason, as I stand further away from that picture, I feel like I'm travelling. When you're up close to something, there's a lot of stress that is around it, and when you kind of give yourself distance from it, that stress can just naturally release. And maybe we'll just, you know, they're out there. These people are out there. So maybe, you know, maybe we don't need to worry so much.
And is there anything else that you know from here?
I definitely don't feel like we are at the bottom of the mountain. I do feel like very much we're at the top. You know, I think with lockdown, I think with the situation that we're in, there has been a real added stress that's been placed upon us, a very unnatural stress, and we're having to deal with that as well. So not only are we trying to have a clear outline of what we want to do from a business point of view and how we want to make contact with new clients and organisations, we're also having to sort of deal with the stress of the current situation, and that adds another layer of confusion. But I feel by sort of standing further away from it, I actually feel a little clearer about it.
Is there another space you'd like to be?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to go quite far away, so I can't actually see it at all.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. And what do you know about that there from here?
So I feel quite liberated, being, I guess, this far away and sort of looking out. I guess in some ways sort of looking out at the expanse of hills in the distance, and then the sky and birds. It's quite, I guess it's quite a freeing experience. And I think there's quite a lot of things, I keep going back to it, but I think there's quite a few, maybe there's possibilities that we haven't really considered that would appeal to us. You know, maybe there's some things, we're thinking about clients, but actually, you know, it could be more holistic than that. It could be more a case of reaching out to charities, to organisations, maybe even within education, and using our skills in a different way to produce content. So it's not just always for commercial gain. I sort of feel that as I move further away, that there are many possibilities and opportunities for us. I still feel like it's tricky to know how, but we're making quite positive connections at the moment, and it's possibly through those connections where new doors will open for us. So I was going to say, in many ways, like lockdown and the time that we're in has virtually brought us closer to people that we wouldn't normally have been in touch with. And it's potentially through those connections where we will maybe explore, new territories with our work.
Is there anything else about that there from here?
Yeah, I just like the idea of having lots of space around. I like the idea of being, I sort of said right at the start really, kind of being at the top of a hill and looking out. It's nice to know what's there, but you can't always see what's around the corner, and you know, there could be some very exciting opportunities sort of just waiting for us. And we just need time really to explore.
So shall we return to your starting place? Yeah. That'd be okay. Yeah. What do you know now?
So I drew this little character with little dots on either side, and it was almost like that was kind of representing ears that are receptive, that are listening. And I just kind of really homed in on that when I came back to the picture and thought, well, it only really takes one person or one organisation to kind of notice and to appreciate and to enjoy what we do. Perhaps for us to produce that kind of meaningful working relationship and meaningful creative content, whether that's a collaboration or a completely new arena that we haven't thought of working in before. It only really takes one person out of all these many hundreds that are out there to kind of notice that. And perhaps they're already listening. Yeah.
So now, from here, knowing all of that, what difference does that make?
That maybe we don't need to worry so much. That, you know, time is good for us to explore new ideas and for us to maybe spend a bit of time on our own creative practice. And that we need time apart from it as well. You can't just always be in it all the time. You need to have some space to go off and be inspired, whether that's by nature or whether that is on a mountain, to actually come back and sort of have that for a project to be meaningful, or even a personal project. You know, kind of a tiny spark can start anywhere, or from a seed. You know, that seed can be planted, could have been planted months and months and months ago. We're just waiting for it to flourish.
And what difference does knowing that make?
It feels like a little sense of relief, that a lot of it is self-afflicted pressure. So it comes with a sense of relief. And I guess I feel quite open, really.
Is there a first step that you could take?
Well, I guess at some point it would be good for us, for my husband and I, to sit down and really think about what it is that we do want to do moving forward with our business in terms of the type of content that we do want to produce. That's probably the first thing for us to do. And then we can think about how we're going to do that. We can think about what we want to create, and we can think about when that's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Right, thank you.
Yeah.